Oh, f*** off. Greetings, fellow Earthlings, and welcome to FTW. Now, this, of course, is Football This Week. It's a series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer online and on social media during the course of a week. Now, there's a slight problem, and that's that there is no football this week. A virus that, for monetization reasons, rhymes with Kahona, has pretty much cancelled absolutely everything and had an effect on pretty much all walks of life. Except for Manchester United, who can confirm a string of negative results across their squad. Pretty much sums up their season overall. All major leagues are suspended and football is about as active as Rolf Harris's music career. And I'm pretty confident it's caused everyone to lose their minds. Civilians everywhere are fighting over toilet paper. Americans are trying to use firearms to solve the problem as per usual. It's time to end this virus once and for all with my AK-47. No, Chad, it's not gonna work. The bullet is bigger than the virus and you can't shoot it out of a person when they've still got it. It's genuinely getting out of hand. Every single event this summer has been cancelled. We've run out of pasta.
Ma perché ci sono gli scaffali della pasta vuoti?
And people have started singing out on their balconies. A little bit different in the UK though. I can't wait for this trend to reach Manchester City fans. Honestly, I'm losing my mind without football, lads. Apparently, I'm supposed to be keeping up my usual routine that I would have had before self-isolation. But how am I meant to do that now? Oh, Dejan, you pagan! It's currently day 4 in quarantine. So far, I've played out an entire Premier League campaign with Panini stickers. I'm physically closing my eyes and imagining football games happening. I've watched 5 Andreas Pereira skill compilations, and yesterday I almost played FIFA for fun. Even my bets are starting to get more and more difficult as each league is cancelled. Does anyone even know the form table for the Premier Division in Turkmenistan? Live footage of me trying to escape quarantine and play Kirby 3 weeks in. In fairness, it doesn't really seem like the players are faring much better away from the beautiful game. Everton forward Richarilson has decided to get the R9 haircut, just obviously as you do, and he hasn't been letting that get in the way of his training. Yeah! Richarilson, mate, please. Just get some help. Do you actually understand how bored you have to be to do this? It looks like the barber actually caught the virus 3/4 of the way through the trim. I don't think Cesc Fabregas is doing any better either.
Good morning, my neighbors! Hey, f*** you! Yes! Yes! You too!
James Milner's taken up a new hobby in the form of trimming grass, naturally. Liverpool midfielder Gini Wijnaldum's taken up ping pong, and multiple others have taken part in the hashtag stay at home trend. The likes of Matthijs de Ligt, etc. taking part and training and stuff whilst also being in a house. So this is where all the toilet paper went. Joe Linton would have taken part, but he couldn't pick up the toilet roll. Not because it wasn't there, he just missed the self-checkout desk. We cross over now to see how Paul Pogba's doing in self-isolation. In fairness, right, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and his partner went viral because of a dance they were doing at home. If this had been Paul Pogba, all hell would have broken loose. Graham Souness would have been in meltdown, Andy Gray would have been tearing his hair out. Actually, wait, no, never mind. Meanwhile, commentator Clive Tildesley had a pretty unique way of dealing with the pandemic.
Live coverage of our supper preparation. Kitchen looking good. This is tea looking good as always. How many onions are there in there?
No, we need them all.
You sure?
Definitely.
Check complete. Carry on. Oh, what a waste! What a waste!
In bigger virus-related news, Euro 2020 has been cancelled.
Thanks for this.
That's
Ruined
all right,
my
so
holiday.
It's been moved to next year, the summer of 2021. It'll start in June and end in July. Someone should probably tell the admin though. On top of that, UEFA want to make sure that every league actually finishes this season. That's great news for the likes of Liverpool, teams that are overachieving like Wolves and Sheffield United, and clubs that are fighting for promotion, the likes of Leeds and West Brom. I think it also means the men's Euros will run alongside the women's Euros. Ah man, the Virgin section of football Twitter is going to have a field day with that one. And unbelievably, there's people actually actually frustrated and complaining about this happening. In it, I don't know why they would cancel an extremely large gathering of people from all over the world, occurring in multiple different countries already hit by Corona, sorry. I just don't see any reason whatsoever to cancel it. It just blows my mind. It is genuinely mad how much of an effect this is having on the world of sport, but at least Antonio Conte saw it coming years ago. Either that or he didn't want to be associated with West Ham. I can't really remember which one. It would seem as though Jurgen Klopp's taking matters into his own hands. Well, not into his own hands, because he's not doing the handshakes, but I mean, as in, you know. And announcements for positive results are still coming in like it's deadline day. Blaise Matuidi of Juventus, the next person to be affected. Get well soon, my lad. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has dedicated a large sum of money in helping to prevent the spread of it, but it came with the quote, if the virus doesn't go to Zlatan, Zlatan goes to the virus. Well done on the donation and everything, but it's not 2014 anymore. Nobody is scared of you. I'm definitely not saying that because we're all in self-isolation and he can't come and hurt me. Like, don't worry. With all this going on, the Serbian Super League don't care at all. I'm pretty sure they're shaking hands more violently than they would before. Anyway, it's not just myself and the players going mental. It seems like the clubs are too. Arsenal and Tottenham are linked with Dejan Lovren. This panic buying is just getting out of control. The English account for a club side called Osagovo ended up on the pull when a girl asked whether they wanted to go to Wetherspoons with them. An amateur side up in Scotland tweeted this. On a slightly more positive note, our goalkeeper, having just returned from a stag do abroad, seems fine. We knew he would be since he clearly catches all anyway. And with games getting cancelled left, right and centre, Brazilian side Vitória have somehow ended up playing 2 games in one day. But it's club sides playing tic-tac-toe and Connect 4 all over Twitter that's making the headlines. Bayer Leverkusen probably could have done better after losing 4-0 twice. OMG, Leverkusen cancelled. Meanwhile, Eastleigh FC were not quite as accommodating. It's the one and only Shithousery Award of the Week for you. A FIFA tournament set up by League 2 side Leyton Orient attracted clubs from all over the globe until they realised that it was sponsored by a certain collection of skets. And in fairness, it also divided opinions for a different reason. Sure, Connect 4 is cool, but we've got a better idea. We need 63 other teams to enter a knockout FIFA 20 tournament. Clubs will be encouraged to stream on Twitch. It's on PS4. All 85 rated squads as per earlier poll. 1 knockout game. Esports players everywhere. Ugh. Listen, this was all meant to be a bit of fun, and now it's this massive, intense esports event that nobody's gonna care about. You could float the Titanic on the sweat produced from this tournament now. And lastly, never, and I mean ever, buy the scum. Now, it's far from just our footballing enjoyment that's being affected by this coronavirus. Lower league clubs are also being affected heavily financially. Barnet announced earlier this week that they were going to literally have to let everybody go. Every single member of staff, the first team squad, the coaches, anyone working at the stadium, the youth players, because they needed to raise money. They weren't earning anything from ticket sales because games aren't happening at the moment. Now, as I'm recording this, the EFL have announced they're going to be supplying a fund or a loan to clubs to help them get through this period. I don't know what the details are, but certainly something has to be done to protect these clubs. This is an unprecedented time and it's hardly their fault. Anyway, there has at least been some football happening. Over in South America, a cup final was contested and there were 8 red cards in the game. Fair to say the referee was slightly busy during this one. I just don't understand why this country can't play football without assaulting each other. Meanwhile, staying in South America, Emmanuel Adebayor is playing in Paraguay right now and we'll check in on how he's doing. Okay, alright, so moving on.
Next question.
Unsurprisingly, upon arrest, Brazilian legend Ronaldinho is now playing prison football. And apparently, if he wins the tournament, he wins a 16-kilogram suckling pig. What is he even gonna do with that? Listen, he's skilling on inmates as if he's playing FIFA Street 2 as well. Ronald, if I can call you that. I feel like we're on a first-name basis now. These men are literally criminals, alright? They are going to hurt you. Whilst all the carnage was going on, Donkey Kong scoring this absolute stunner went completely under the radar. Meanwhile, there's a heartwarming story going on in Chile. First Division side Colo Colo abandoned the usual mascots and instead brought out dogs that were up for adoption so people could adopt them at the end of the game. How beautiful. That seems like a fair challenge to me, lads. Play on. And over in Scotland, a Rangers supporter made a pretty vital error in getting on the wrong fan bus.
You let your club down! Glasgow Rangers! You let your club down!
Now though, it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score. This, of course, is the segment where we talk about the best of Sunday League football. Now, even down in the gritty Sunday League pitches, there's not much action going on. But where there is, people are definitely taking precautions. A hand sanitizer using king. We have no choice but to stand. Elsewhere, BBC Sport maybe could have used a slightly better headline here, especially given it's on the women's side of the game. Footballers are celebrating by forgetting that the game they're playing is behind closed doors. Other footballers are simply forgetting the rules of the game altogether. I would argue he's slightly off his line for that penalty. A Malaysian side has slightly altered their badge over the course of the last 7 days. And as for this Sunday League pitch, I mean, I just don't even know what. You know what? It's probably a good thing that football's cancelled after all. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't really know what's going to happen to FTW. I'm kind of going to have to take this week by week. There's been a lot of stuff in this episode because it's been the first 7-day period since football was cancelled. I feel like in future weeks and months, if it takes that long, there's not going to be that much to talk about every single week. I will try and still get you the news each week, but I might have to add other things into the video. I don't know. If you've got any suggestions, drop it down below, whether it's only uploading this series every 2 weeks or kind of adding stuff into the episode that isn't strictly football this week content, then whatever it is, just let me know. You can also follow me on social media. It is @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.